Guys, it's Sarah and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library, and every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And since Valentine's Day, we decided to show you some books that we have read that have really good romances in them. Not necessarily romance books, but books that just have really good romances that were just really, really good. Well written. You could feel the tension. You could feel the love. You were rooting for them, that kind of thing. This first one is actually the one in the stack that I most recently read, and that is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is a young adult book, and it's actually a fantasy book. It is set in a fantasy world. However, the world very much resembles our real world. There's just fantasy elements, so I almost call it magical realism, but it actually is set in, like, it's not set on Earth or, in America or whatever, it's set like in a made up place, but it feels like everyday world. I hope that makes sense. So there are definitely magical elements in here, and the romance in here is very, very good. It definitely gave me You've Got Mail vibes, because there were letters being exchanged back and forth between two people. It felt very much like that. And I really enjoyed that part of it for sure. But these two were really great characters, and you could tell when they were coming together, and you could tell when the feelings started happening, and you were just rooting for them the whole time. And it was fantastic. So yeah, speaking of fantasy, I had to put Fourth Wing on here by Rebecca Yarros. I have to put this on here. Ooh, this romance is something. It's something else. This romance is hot and heavy. It did take a little bit to get there, though. I will say that. So it took a little bit to get to the romance part of it, but once it happened, it was done for. It was intense, and you could really see these two fighting it. Both of them were just fighting it for so long, and then when they finally gave into it, it was fantastic. I live for these characters. I live for this relationship. Love, love, love. Hot and heavy, though, so adult. Okay, this one is one of my favorites, and it's just so unique. So this is Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is a young adult book, and this actually follows romances that are set both in World War I and World War II, but the narrators of this story are Greek gods. It's so different, and I loved it so much. So you're literally getting the love story from the Greek gods, like they are the narrators of it, and they are showing their influence on these people's relationships, even though they're not supposed to be influencing anything, but they do anyway. You guys, it's so good. It's so different and unique, and I thought it was fantastic. This is one that I need to reread again. But like Aphrodite and Apollo, and I'm pretty sure, let me see, Ares is in here. And yeah, just Hades is in here. So you're getting them as characters, and it goes back and forth between them telling the stories and then you actually seeing the scenes being played out between the characters. But the love stories in here were fantastic. Loved, loved, loved. Again, I want to read this again, but it's been a favorite of mine for sure. Another one, speaking of mythology, is The Song of Achilles, and this is by Madeline Miller. I loved this book. This one follows Achilles, and I said Patroclus. I don't know if that's correct or not. I've heard it pronounced different ways. I said Patroclus when I was reading it. But it is their friendship and their partnership and how they became connected and how they became close, and then something even more. So this is a love story between those two. And the ending broke my heart. Like, this book was so good. It was so good. I was swooning. I was loving it. And just the ending was, man, very... It was that's all I'm going to say. But I love this one. If you have not read this, I highly, highly recommend it. It was fantastic. Then my last one is a romance book. It's one of my favorite romances, and that is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This one follows two people who start off as friends and then become more. And then they part ways, and you don't know why for a while. And it's a flip-flop between a present timeline and a past timeline. So you're seeing in the present, they meet up again randomly, unexpectedly. And all those feelings start coming back very quickly for both of them, even though they're living two separate lives with like other people. And then you're seeing how they met, their friendship blossoming, more blossoming, and then it leads up into what happened to cause them to drift apart and to not speak for like 11 years, I think. And then you're going back and forth between, them rehashing everything and what's going on and where do we go from here. It was fantastic. I loved this book so much. This was the first time that I had read a book and finished it and immediately wanted to flip it over and start over again. I was upset that I didn't have more. I was upset that these characters' stories were done and I wanted more of their story. I was like, there's more here. There's more here. We can keep going. Please stop. Please don't stop. And I just wanted to start over so they could stay in my life. That was literally the first time I have finished a book and felt that way. So, okay, guys, those are 5 books that I have read that have really, really good romances in them. And just the way that they were written were fantastic. And I was just completely invested in these characters' relationships. So make sure you go check out Lindsey today, see what books have romances that she's talking about. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.